Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you Monday, September the 14th, the year's 2020. Let's talk trading. Secrets of Trading for a Living, Part 2 with Walmal. As you know, these videos are for educational purposes only, and your results may differ from mine and from Walmal's. So, I've got Walmal on the line. Walmal, you having a tough day today?
Today's been a rough day for me. I mean, I've made core, but I was trading with another trader earlier this morning, and I think he had the same type of day I had. I believe he actually ended the day profitable as well, but it's just been one of those days here on the pound that you get from time to time, where it just doesn't move smoothly, and it herky-jerkies, and sometimes you get chopped out sometimes, and that's just part of trading. So, I was just telling TRO a few minutes ago that I went back and looked at all my trades, and I don't see any mistakes. I don't see anything any trades that I shouldn't have gotten into. I don't see any poor exits. I've gotten poor exits in the sense that I jumped out and maybe the market would have blessed me with more points if I had stayed, but no reason to, but not poor exits because I made a mistake getting out. I did have one trade where I twitched and actually did get in when I was a little early, but that's going to happen from time to time. But the biggest thing today is just in the market, and sometimes the market does what the market's going to do. And so it just makes it tough sometimes. And you got to keep your head in it, keep your head down, and pay attention to your bottom dollar and pay attention to what you're doing, and just keep on plugging ahead. And and by doing that, I was able to go and I did get one trade where I did pick up 15 pips, and that made up a lot of that chop. And I like I said, I've already made core back, but man, I'm exhausted. I've been trading since 6 o'clock my time, 7 o'clock my time, and it's now. What is it? It's now almost 12 o'clock my time, and so it's one of those days where that's a lot of, for me, that's a lot of time sitting in front of the terminal, and it just it wears on you, and so you got to be careful.
But part of the time you're sitting in front of the computer, that's because you're an addict. Let's just be let's just be truthful here.
Well, that's true. But the thing is, on a day like today, when you try to make up the pips because you're getting chopped out, I got two choices. I can either go and say, you know what, this is going to be a day that I'm just going to take a small loss or not make my core, and I've done that. Or I can say, you know what, I know I can go and get this back, and I'm going to go and get it back. And that's kind of what I did today is I said, I can get this back, and I'm going to get it back. It's just I got to sit here longer. And here where I'm staying here in Atlanta, it's drizzly, rainy, and ugly outside, so I got nothing to do outside, so I'll go and sit here and work.
Okay, so you said you get it back. So when do you change anything when you're trading, when you're trying to get it back?
No, I don't. I still trade my plan. The only thing I may change is if I, like, for instance, today seeing a lot of chop, where I go up 3-5 pips, and all of a sudden turns around, and I now just get one because of my 10-5-1 plan, or I get -3 because I hit 3 and never got to 5. Well, when that happens, when I see a day like that, as soon as I see that thing stop, if I make 3 pips and I see it stop dead, I'm out. I'm just going to take my 3 pips and get out. So that's the only thing I'd change. But I don't change my trading plan. I don't change my entry method. I just may go and trade a little bit better what I see the market doing and try to eliminate some of that problem with the chop. And then the other thing I'll do is that I'll go and if I see a lot of times you'll get yourself into trouble on days like today because you're late, and what I mean by that, you're late to the party. What I mean by that is that, let's say you're supposed to get, like right now we're sitting here at 28.70. If my plan says I'm supposed to go south at 28.70, take a short here at 28.70, okay? And I know that I've got a day like this where it'll go 3 pips in my direction, turn around, go 5-7 pips in the other direction real quick. Well, I need to go and be sharp, and I need to go and make sure that I as soon as it goes and my entry goes and takes place, I go and jump in and get on it right away. On other days when the market's moving nice and smoothly, you can be a little bit sloppy, and it doesn't matter that much. But on a day like today, if you're not sharp as a tack and just get on it and get out of it, you'll get chewed up.
Well, I'm I think some of the traders have asked, do you take more than one trade per hour?
Yes, I do. My plan, though, basically says that I really should only take one trade, maybe two trades an hour. And so on the Walmal method, that's what I do. I take one trade or two trades an hour on that. Where my other trades come in, where I'm taking more than one trade an hour, is because we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, the idea of taking these DSR trades, or dynamic support resistance trades. Those trades I take more of during an hour. But my Walmal method, I take one, maybe two trades an hour, and that's it.
So is there any upper limit how many trades you do in an hour?
No, there isn't, but at the same time, I'm not going to go nuts either. And what I mean by that is that, if I'm sitting here and I'm in a situation where I'm taking trades and I'm getting chopped out, you know what? Go get yourself a cup of coffee and come back next hour. If I'm sitting there and I've won, 10 pips or so in that hour, you know what? Go get yourself a cup of coffee because you've done your job for the day, much less for the hour. So, so that's really the distinction. There's no market rule for this. I mean, the market's going to do what the market's going to do. And, price is going to go to the next best stop, but the thing is, I don't know which bus stop it's going to go to. But if it's already arrived at the bus stop that I've assigned to it, then, move aside. Go and get yourself some rest time. Today, because of the way it was moving, I was taking 2-3 pips at a time, and I took a number of losses in a row. I think I took a 7-pip loss, and then I took a 3-pip loss. Now I'm down 10 for the day, and then I went and just edged it back 2-3 pips every time, and finally got it back to where I was break even. Then I got really lucky because I took a break. I took a break of a particular Walmal line, and I got in. And I got in right at the line with perfect entry, and it ran up 15 pips and started to come back, and I jumped out when I had 13 pips. And I looked at that and said, you know what? That's a good trade. I'm done. I got core for the day. I don't need more than that. But I did continue to trade a little bit and just taking nice DSR trades that I'm seeing then. Because now that I recognize what the market's doing, I can go and take those DSR trades and say, you know what? Take 2 pips, take 3 pips. We talked about this a little bit, I think, on Friday or Thursday. But, take those 2 or 3 pips at a shot and just stack them up, and just do that. The market's doing that. The market's doing very well at that today. So if you recognize it, you get yourself into that mode and start trading that way.
Okay, so we're at the top of the hour. In like about we just made it. So we've got a DSR trade, but then we also have a Walmal trade. Would you wait for the Walmal trade? Take the DSR trade?
I would probably, in this situation, because it's so late in the day. I mean, we're talking it's afternoon here on the East Coast. I would go and be more reticent to go and take the DSR trade than the Walmal trade. I wouldn't wait for the Walmal trade. And the reason why is because at this point in time during the day, the market generally speaking, not always, but generally speaking, starts to slow down. So the DSR trade that we see right now, we're literally, a half a pip away from the entry on that. So I'd be more willing to take that, jump into that, and then jump out as soon as it got to the 80 line. And the reason why is because at this time of the day, very easily our maximum movement for the hour could be 10, 12 pips. So I don't want to go and waste 5 of those pips just getting to the entry.
Okay, so we just hit that entry.
Yep. So I didn't take it, but I would have, if I wasn't on this on the video right now, I would have probably taken that entry. It looks like a good entry because it's a 2-ball on the bottom. It crossed the top of the wick on the previous M5 candle, and we've got it. We're above the midnight. So my entry on this trade would have been. Let me go look and see. But my entry on this would have been at 76.5. We're now at 70 on my chart anyway. My sell was at 77.5. So we've been up 1 pip right now.
Yeah, this would have been a profitable trade so far.
Right. And the thing is, because of the type of day it is, see how it's starting to stagnate now. I'd be starting to think, you know what? Yeah, I'm up right now almost 2 pips. I'm thinking, oh, let's go hit that close button, and it may blast through that 80 because we do have plenty of room. We're only up 4 pips right now for the hour, so we got plenty of room. But I'm a little shaky today just because of how it's been moving, So probably now I'd probably be thinking about getting out because I would have had my 2 pips and I would have been happy. And depending on how much you're putting on the trade, that could be could be a good chunk of change.
Right. Now, one of the other things is those 2 pips. Are those 2 pips different to you if this was your first trade of the day versus if you have your core already versus if you're in the hole?
Yeah, well, yeah, they shouldn't matter, okay? But the reality is they kind of do. Okay, but they should not. You should be trading it the way what you see and take what you can, because that's what makes you consistent. We had a video last week talking about consistency, and consistency is based on the whole idea of being consistent in everything you're doing. Reality is, for me, and this is what a downfall, something I got to work on, but if let's say I'm down 5-7 pips, and I see that I'm up 2 pips, I look at it as grab those 2 pips and knock it down to being only down 5 pips. Okay, and I'll wait for the next trade, and as soon as it get in, if I get profitable, as soon as it stops, get out. Maybe knock off another 3 or 4 pips, and that's kind of how I get myself out of a hole. Reality is, if price is moving, you should be getting in and out for the same reasons, because that's what will make you more consistent overall. But I look at it overall as not overall, but from a perspective of I need to chip my way out. So I'm just going to play that short game and just chip out until I get back to break even.
Yeah. So you can see right here, you were up 2 or more pips. If you hadn't taken it, well, you'd be down right now.
You're exactly right. In fact, right now I'd probably be down, I don't know, let me go measure it real quick. It doesn't take much to do that. I'd probably be down like 2 pips, or actually 1.5 pips. But the thing is, I was up 2 pips. And if I would have gone and, of course you can't ever do that, but if you could go and time it perfectly, my get out point was I would have made actually 2.1 pips on it. So, that would have been a very nice trade. It would have been nice. It would have been nice to get 5 pips. Yeah, but guess what? The market didn't give it to me.
Yeah, it didn't give you the opportunity. No.
It didn't give me the opportunity. And it's funny, I was thinking about this morning. There is absolutely nothing I can do to make the market go and do what I want it to do. I got to just go, and whatever the market does, I got to go and roll with it in such a way that I can become profitable with it. And so if I see like what I just saw right now, that's what's been happening a lot today, where I'll go and, hey, that was a perfectly good trade. There was no reason not to take that trade. None in the world. But guess what? It went up 2 pips, and then it turned on me. Well, if I see that happening over and over again, I got to get smart. And part of getting smart is I got to trade what I see. And this is what I see. The market's doing that type of stuff. Okay, take my 2 pips, wait for the next signal. And when the next signal comes along, maybe it blasts through and gets 3 or 4 or 5 pips. Wouldn't that be a beautiful thing?
Yeah, and so basically, as you were saying, you take those 2 pips. It doesn't matter if that's the first trade of the day, you starting out flat, or if you've made your core and you're just adding, you're just stacking pips and bricks, or if you're down, you're just saying, hey, the market is doing what it's doing, and right now it doesn't seem to be making these nice runs in any one direction. So if I can take 2 here and 2 there, I can stack bricks and get the core, or I can stack bricks and get back to even, or I can stack bricks and just add a little bit more to my pile. And the funny thing is, what's happened is the fastest 15 minutes in trading has gone by once again. So fellow traders, you saw that we shot the video live. You could see that sometimes the market's only going to give you 1 or 2 pips. And so if that's all it gives, it's much better to have a 2 pip win than a 2 pip loss. So what you have to keep in mind is it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks, and please click subscribe and like. Click the bell to be notified. And this is the Rumpled One, over and out.